All right, yeah. Yeah, so like, I feel like most people struggle with managing like their food loads and their workloads anyway. And a lot of people, me included, and this is a chat that I've had with Mike many times as well, is people don't really realize when they're going through periods of higher workload, yeah? So like there's obvious periods of higher workload. For example, if you start work at 9 a.m. and you finish work at 5 p.m., but then all of a sudden, rather than finishing at 5 p.m., you're finishing at 7 p.m., you know that you've got an obvious higher workload there. That's obvious, yeah? But then there's some hidden higher workloads. For example, if the kids are stressed, if they've got exams, or if you're running around a little bit more than for sport or whatever, couple that up with high training modes, all of a sudden you're gonna need more calories. Sometimes we don't actually change our calorie load often enough to be able to cater for that, yeah? So obviously in a period now where we're working on half an hour to 40-minute workouts, it's an obvious suggestion that we should be dropping our calories down substantially if weight loss is the goal, okay? But we've got to be a little bit more clever than that from now on going forward to say that, you know what, let's be more responsive. Let's understand our days a bit better. Let's look at our weeks going ahead and saying, you know what, it looks like I'm gonna have a busy week. Do I need to get more calories in now? Or am I going to be having a bit of a lazy week and not going to be here? Do I need to drop it? We shouldn't be ultimately having a calorie range that we're locking in for a long term. So we should not be pumping in 1,500 calories per day, for example, for 3 or 4 months at a time. If we've done that there, we're too much into the routine and we're not responsive enough. So now's a good time to be able to manage that. On a bigger day of workouts, learn how to increase your calories a little bit. On a lower day of workouts, or if you haven't been doing the workouts that have been prescribed, decrease your calories. One thing that I've been doing, because I haven't been at work, I've been doing all the workouts, but I haven't been at work, and I burn a lot of calories while I'm at work, is I haven't been having anything to eat until midday. Now, personally, I would never ever prescribe, that's called like intermittent fasting, I would never prescribe that. But just because I know that I'm doing less work, I'm not having breakfast in the morning, yeah? I'm having a coffee in the morning, I'm doing a few chores. When I start to feel hungry, then I start to eat accordingly, yeah? So I think now's a good time for you guys, while the stress levels are a little bit lower with exercise, it's a good time to experiment, yeah? And from experimenting there, that's where we get our biggest learning curve. But the short answer is, decrease your calories at this time, yeah?
Exactly, and that falls in line with what you said, Penny, about us not exercising as much, or the amount of physical activity that we're doing is not as much as we were when we were back inside the gym. Yeah. So what James is suggesting is to just play it by ear. If I had one recommendation, I would say you should be journaling what you do. So let's say on a day or a particular day, if you have the time, if your workload is quite high, just write down what you eat, be mindful of it, track it, and see what happens. The best way you can manage things is to measure it. So I always like to say what gets measured gets managed. If you can just take the time, it doesn't even have to be you weighing your food or counting your calories, just making simple notes like, on this particular day, my workload was high, my stress was high, was I eating more, was I eating less? And it can be something as simple as you weighing yourself, not each day, but just tracking, keeping track of how your weight fluctuates throughout the weeks coming.
And I mean, let's face it, like, there's a great example that I can give you guys of, one of my girls from ladies group who struggled to lose weight for a long time. There was only one thing that we changed. We cut her out from having a latte twice a day to a piccolo twice a day, and within 2 weeks she dropped 3 kilos. So we're looking at changing the calorie content there by about 200 calories per day by doing that. 200 calories is easy to gain and it's easier to lose. So it's simply like what you're putting on your plate, or how many meals you're having in the day, or whether you're having milk in your coffee or not, can actually change you from having a calorie surplus or a calorie negative. Now, if weight loss is the goal, we want to make sure that we're in a calorie negative. If weight gain is the goal, then we've got to be in a calorie positive. So if you're jumping on the scales and your weight's the same every day and you haven't increased, keep on doing what you're doing. For me, I don't think we need to change anything that's not broken, okay? If we're losing weight, I've had a few people that are losing weight at the moment because they're doing a lot more walking, they're not doing any weight training, and their routine with food has been a little bit off. Well, that's good because they're getting a little bit of weight loss there. But weight loss long term like that could be detrimental. That's something that we can talk about when we get back, depending on their size. And if you're gaining weight, we know that we've got to decrease the calories or increase the activity a little bit. It's like a spreadsheet. It's the most simple thing. I gained a kilo, I'm going to go for a longer run. Or I gained a kilo, I'm going to fast the next day. Yeah? I lost a kilo, I've got to eat a little bit more. I'm maintaining, I'm happy. I just keep on doing what I've been doing. So yeah, don't let's use this time here where exercise is not a stress, yeah? Let's use it to reinvent our world and say, you know what, let's not complicate things. Let's just look at what's in front of us. I want to lose weight, I'm not losing weight. That means I've got to decrease food, or I've increased weight, I've got to decrease food there, and just play it by ear like that there. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, so what James is saying is we think that the ideal starting position would be for you to understand how much you should be eating to maintain weight. Once you get a good indication of how much you should be consuming in a day to maintain your weight, that would be the perfect starting point for you to either make the decision whether or not you want to lose weight from there or gain weight, build muscle, etc. So all goals stem from you establishing that good starting point, and that comes with you understanding how many calories you should be roughly eating in a single day just to maintain your current weight. So like James said, there's nothing bad about you maintaining weight. That would be the most ideal position for you to be in, but that should be the establishing point for you to make decisions there on after. So for you to be able to figure that out, just by trial and error, playing it by ear, and like I said, measuring and helping manage those numbers, that'll be a good starting point for you.
Yeah, I see most people coming in for a measurement fluctuating on a weight range between, let's say, 1 and 3 kilos. 1 and 3 kilos up, 1 and 3 kilos down from their base weight. Yeah, that's I would say 85% of the people that come into the gym. What's the key point there? If they're exercising the same all year round, okay, and their weight's staying similar all year round, that means their food is too routine. And most people wake up in the morning and have a similar breakfast, they have a similar lunch, and they have a similar dinner. Like my son, he's only 8 years old, he knows that every morning he wants to have 8 Weet-Bix. 8 Weet-Bix is part of his waking up in the morning. Yeah? Yeah, that's a lot of Weet-Bix for a small kid. But that's what he's used to, yeah? That's what's programmed into his mind, okay? Then at lunch, it's 2 sandwiches. Then at dinner, it's 1 piece of steak. So all of a sudden, you fall into this routine where rather than thinking about what you're eating, you're just eating it because that's what I ate yesterday and I felt good yesterday and so on. But then if we look at it over a whole year, if on January you weighed 80 kilos and on December you weighed 80 kilos, and your goal is to lose weight, what does that mean there? Rather than 8 Weet-Bix, take it down to 6. Rather than 2 sandwiches, take it down to 1. And rather than 1 piece of steak, take it down to half. Make sense? That's got to be the outcome, yeah? If 80 kilos is your weight on January, 80 kilos is your weight on December, and all year you've been eating in a routine, if you break that routine of eating, obviously the weight's going to fall. Yeah? That's the best way to look at it. So Mike and I are trying to get you guys to think a little bit more logically rather than just being forced numbers, yeah? Weight maintenance means that you're burning the same amount of energy that you're putting in. Weight gain means that you're picking up and not exercising enough. And weight loss, if that's your goal, means that you're getting less calories in you're burning more calories than what you're putting in. And if that's your goal, you want to maintain that.
Yeah, and prescribing numbers is a bit difficult as well because it's not a one-size-fits-all model. What you need to understand is your body will normalize your daily lifestyle and your eating habits. Using Isaiah as an example, he's very used to eating 8 Weet-Bix, 2 sandwiches, and 1 steak. So his body has made that normal. Like, that's how much he eats every single day to maintain his current body weight. Whether or not it's more or less than he should be eating, we can't say for sure, but his body has made that the normal to maintain his body weight. So everyone's different. There are some skinny people who eat like over 3,000 calories a day and they don't gain a single bit of weight. Their body has made that normal. There are people who eat like 800 calories a day, which is incredibly low, but they're managing somehow to maintain their body weight. And the reason why is their body has made that the norm, because if 800 calories is significantly less than what they should be eating, they keep losing weight and eventually die. So your body's survival mechanism would be to make that the normal. So whatever your current eating habits are, your body has normalized that and made that your baseline. So for you, you would essentially be having to figure out that baseline and using that as a starting point.
And like we said, while we're in a period here where we're not burning a lot of calories through exercise, I think it's a good opportunity for you guys to, let's say, monitor the next 2 weeks. What's your goal at the moment, Penny? Is it weight loss? Penny, what's your goal at the moment? Is your goal weight loss at the moment?
I reckon about 3 kilos.
Okay, Antoinette, what's yours? 4. Okay, cool. So here we are. We're in a conversation here, the 4 of us. Your target is to lose about 3 to 4 kilos, all right?
Yeah.
let's have a look at what we're doing over the next 2 weeks. Weigh yourself today, and we'll weigh ourselves in 2 weeks' time. Now, record down your food for the next 2 weeks. If there's weight loss over the next 2 weeks, we run with it. If there's no weight loss over the next 2 weeks, then we adjust it, okay? And we adjust it by a small increment. The biggest thing that people do the mistake on is they make this major adjustment immediately. Of course, that's going to stress out the body, yeah? It's not pleasant, There is some benefits to that type of stuff there because you get a bit of a shock to the system, but there's also negatives to that there as well, right? And it's almost like sometimes it's a false goal too, right? So let's just do it a very simple way. Weigh yourselves today. In 2 weeks, we'll weigh ourselves again. Record down what you've had to eat. You don't have to do it every day, but get a baseline about what you're doing. You're probably going to notice that it's very consistent, yeah? Yeah. Yeah. And that way there, what we'll do is we'll just tweak it a little bit so it's not too abnormal, and then we'll progress on from there.
Yes, so what James is saying is exactly what I would recommend as well. Don't change anything up because like he said, changing something up dramatically can be a huge shock to the system. And that's just another additional layer of stress. And the amount of negative repercussions that can come out of it are far more substantial than the benefits. So that's why a lot of people fall off the horse when they start a diet. That's why they only last a week or two because they're not accustomed to that. So what we would recommend is continue doing what you're doing, monitor it over a 2-week period. If nothing changes in terms of your weight in 2 weeks' time, then we can say, yep, that's probably close to what your baseline is or how much calories you should be consuming in a day to maintain your body weight. And then from there, if your goal is weight loss, we decrease. So again, I'll use Isaiah as the example. If Isaiah is eating 8 Weet-Bix, 2 sandwiches and a steak every single day, so today he will weigh himself and he'll continue eating like that for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we'll weigh him again. If he's maintained the same body weight, we can make the assumption that 8 Weet-Bix, 2 sandwiches and 1 steak is how much calories he should be eating in a day to maintain his body weight. If he wants to lose weight, that's where we use what James said, we decrease a little bit. So instead of 8 Weet-Bix, he'll have 6 Weet-Bix. Instead of 2 sandwiches, he'll have 1. Instead of 1 steak, he'll have half. And that's where we can begin to play around with our numbers.
And if that feels stressful, you can do it by a small increment. It could be like 7 Weet-Bix, 1.5 sandwich. Like, you just play it by ear. But that's why communication is the key, yeah? Like chatting with Mike and I about this often rather than just when you're not feeling good. And this is what we cop. We cop it here. When people are feeling at their worst, quick, come and help us. Okay, all right, you want help? Come and we'll help you, yeah? But if we talk more often, and this is the best way to fix it.
So yeah.
I get to like a weight, like okay, my goal was 70. I get to 72. I sit there. Then I did get there a few times, but then I increase up and I've gone, here we go. And that's what I've done now. And I cook, like I cooked, I think I'm cooking like, there's fresh food there, but then I'm cooking homemade pastas or sauces or lasagnas or things that I haven't cooked. And instead of having that small portion, I've gone, I haven't had this in a while. That little, like you said, you're sort of having that bigger portion and you're going, oh my God, what are you...
Well,
and it's always a nice time at home.
Now this chat is more like reconciliation than a diet chat.
Yeah, so
you're here to tell us your sins, right?
you've pretty much already identified the root cause. So what I would say is just make the conscious effort to portion size. So when you finish cooking your food, just make the conscious effort to separate it into containers, put it straight away into the fridge, because what you see, that'll always be in the back of your mind and you'll be tempted to eat more than what you should be eating. So let's say you've made a pot of pasta. What I would recommend doing is putting it into serving sizes into individual containers. That way you're only eating 1 serving in that 1 container, rather than just spooning however much you want from the pot and exercising no sort of portion control. So that would be my recommendation in terms of you managing how much you eat, especially during this time when we're stuck at home and it's so easy to walk to the fridge and access food, is just to exercise a bit of mindfulness.
Yeah, but it comes down to importance too, right? Like right now, for me, weight gain is of no importance. Weight gain and weight loss for me at the moment, it's right at the bottom of my list of things to achieve. All right. Yeah. Now, if you're going and eating lasagna, guess what? I would argue to you to say weight loss for you right now is not that important. It's desirable, but it's not important. Because if weight loss was important, you wouldn't be eating lasagna.
No.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? You wouldn't be eating So we just got to look at it like, okay, yeah, the ideal goal is for you to lose 4 kilos. But right now, in the current state, okay, it's more important for us to be around family, be happy, okay, enjoy ourselves and so on. And if eating lasagna is part of you enjoying yourself, and that's more important at the moment than losing the 4 kilos, you run with it, yeah? But if you get to a point there where it starts to become 8 kilos, 12 kilos, 16 kilos, then you know you've taken it too far, you need to be more drastic. So we just got to balance that. It's a balancing act. Like there's no... For me, man, if you see what I've been cooking, you guys will spin out, okay? In my house, I'm like Gordon Ramsay the second at home. I'm throwing knives at people, I'm swearing, I'm doing all that. But then I'm healing it with amazing meals on the table, yeah? But all those meals have got like half a knob of butter in them and all this type of stuff. Like, yeah, you just, but for me at the moment, that's important. For me, the lost weight gain is not important, yeah? So, there are things to think about. Girls, I've got to run off on that note. I've got an appointment I've got to get to in the park. I miss you guys. Spread the word. Yeah. And you know what? If you want to start to manage this food a little bit more, just text us more often, yeah?
Yeah,